Thank you for being here today. I would like to start with a personal story. A few years ago, I attended a community event where an elder shared their experience of growing up in a segregated neighborhood. As they spoke, I felt the weight of their words and the pain of those memories. It was a powerful reminder of how discrimination can shape lives and communities. Today, we are here to discuss two important concepts: racial healing and discrimination. When we talk about discrimination, we refer to the unjust treatment of individuals based on their race or ethnicity. A reality that has persisted for centuries. Racial healing, on the other hand, involves process that promotes understanding, empathy, and reconciliation among different communities. As we dive into this topic, I want to acknowledge the diverse background in this room. Each of you brings a unique perspective shaped by your experiences. It is crucial that we foster an open dialogue where all voices can be heard and respected. To give us a clear picture, let's consider some statistics which, according to World Statistics, racial discrimination has increased to more than 50% as we speak. Racial healing is not merely about acknowledging the past. It is about creating pathways for understanding and connection in our present and future. It encourages us to listen, to empathize, and to actively engage in effort to dismantle systematic inequalities. Throughout our time together, I will invite you to reflect on your own experience with race and discrimination, and how have these issues affected you or your community. Let's create a safe space for sharing, learning, and growing together. In conclusion, I encourage each of you to think about how you can contribute to racial healing within your own circle. Change begins when conversations like the one we are about to have
Racial healing to me is very important because it's the ability for me to overcome racial bias in every area of life. Because we meet it every day, either at work, in the marketplaces, with our kids, when we take them anywhere. And some of these things are sometimes they're hurting. But the healing aspect is the fact that I know that the racism exists, and I'm able to override it and still interact with the people what I have to do. So wherever I go, I don't focus on what the challenges are, the biases are, but make sure that I can be able to accomplish what I've come there to do. And so that will still gives me the satisfaction that what I was able to do was accomplished. So it doesn't stop me from going to achieving my goals, especially when it comes to your kids, because then they always feel like something's going on, but I'm able to shield them from that. And so for the society, racial healing for the society nowadays is very important, because otherwise nothing will be done. If everybody was going to meet it and fight against it, then someday work will just stop and in a place. Some work will just go on a pause. But once we are healed from it, people can go past it like it doesn't even exist, and that will even bring the person approaching you with racism, set them into confusion. But they're like, this is what I was trying to do, what is going on? But people are still able to achieve their day-to-day goals, and that will help the society to move forward without challenges.
From my understanding and my experience, I believe racial healing is understanding your intersectional personality and understanding how your multiple identities that you have been impacted due to racial bias, discrimination. I'm a Black Christian woman, and so there have been many instances in my life and experiences that I have gone through based on my intersectional personality. I think racial healing is important in today's society because it gives me the ability to understand those traumatic experiences that I've gone through, and it gives me the ability to have different resources and tools that would help me heal. I think it's also important in today's society because it gives me the voice to speak up. It gives me the ability to also pay it forward and teach others how to overcome the experiences that they have gone through. So I think that's why it is important in today's society.
Racial healing to me, it's how you face racial bias and how you bounce back. Because in today's society and where we find ourselves in the United States of America, racism is the order of the day. Because in America, we have different races coming from different parts of the world. We are coming here to meet each other from different backgrounds, different countries. So racism is bound to happen. But what is the goal, the most important issue, is how to understand the bouncing back, which is the healing of what has happened. And also, the goal is we have to understand that living in a society where we are coming from different parts of the world, racism should not be that priority, because if we go by the way of racism, then the world will never be a place for us to live. It will be a world of chaos. But now with racial healing, the healing part, if you're healed with the racism that you faced, you'll be able to stand tall and to live in a community so that we can build the world and we can live together, because togetherness is what is going to move us forward. It's not by dividing ourselves. So racial healing plays an important part in integrating us back into the society.
If it comes to my experiences, there are a lot. I've met several of them on my journey, but I want to speak to a particular one, and this one was based on a job I got as a data scientist in the area of diseases, which I was analyzing data. And the condition for this job was that you needed to be able to speak two languages, so bilingual, French and English, which are languages I was fluent in. So when I was hired for the job, I observed that from day one, the director, she kept coming at me, which for things I didn't understand, even after I had done what I expected to do, but there was always a reason that she found based on what my work looked like. So I had to always go ask her what she wanted me to do. And then an opportunity came where I had to travel, and then she used this against me because my visa was not, my passport was not ready. So I started the process of getting it ready. And it was going to be beyond, I think, just a little bit beyond the time she had given me to get my passport ready. So I started talking with others in there just to find out if this is a common situation or it's just me. And they're like, no, people even came there that didn't have passports, and they started their passport processes in there and they still traveled. So I was hoping that things were going to change. I kept talking to her, but I found out that when it came to that time, she still let me go. And post that time, I tried to reach out to those who were in there, and they're like, no, they hired somebody after you, and that person could not even speak French. That person was not even up to your degree, and that person was of her race. And so I understood that it was not a was not an issue with me. It's just that she wanted somebody of her race, and I think that was a racial bias against me. And the way I approached the love in there at the time was that, despite me knowing all of these aspects, and that she still wanted me to go, and others have still had the same situation like me, I still work with everybody in there nicely. I came every day with a good mood. We're able to accomplish all the tasks I had to do, and on the day I was leaving, I still went to her and told her, "Thank you for giving me this opportunity to go happily, not like I had a problem with me, or I felt bad about it. I didn't want her to see that picture." And the justice for me after that was the fact that I learned a lesson from there. I thought that I believe that it's always good to speak out for situations like that, because even after I left, somebody else can face the same situation. So in my current job, I decided to be like a diversity officer, just because I wanted to make sure that everybody has a voice to speak to their different various races where they come from.
One experience that I encountered was during my college days. My friends and I were getting ready on a Saturday night to go out to a party in the volleyball house. So it was about 5 girls and 2 boys. We were all Black, and so we were super excited to just go out and have fun and have a great night. Upon reaching that volleyball house, what we realized that everybody there was white, and one of my friends knew someone who was on the team. That's how we got the invitation. So we asked at the door, "Hey, can we go in?" They say, "No, you can't go in." And we're like, "Why not? Everybody else is going in." They were like, "Oh, because everyone is in the volleyball team." But we saw other people who were not on the volleyball team going in. So we huddled together and was like, "Hey, do you all recognize that everybody going in was white and we're the only Black ones here? This feels wrong. This is unfair. This is not right." So unfortunately, we went back home to our dorms, and what we did was just talk about the issue and how it made us feel. We came in agreement that due to that issue, we have to speak up about it, and we have to go to our Center of Diversity and Inclusion and report the incident. So that Monday, we all went as a unit to our Center of Diversity and Inclusion director and report the incident. And what I love about how he approached the situation, he was very open. He created a safe space for our voices to be heard, and he was very understanding of what we have been through. And due to that, he took action. He wrote a letter to the volleyball coach telling them exactly what happened at what time and how his students felt. Because of that letter, the next step was to bring together the 2 parties, which was my friend group and the volleyball team, and we came together and we had a dialogue. So we went through the night, we went through what happened, we talked about how we felt, and through that dialogue, we were able to see that they did not understand that their action was causing hurt and infliction on us. And due to that conversation and that stir up in our university, each and every sport team had to go through racial bias training, discrimination training, and training on how to dialogue and handle situations that come up. This was a great implementation because we did not want this to happen to any other person, any other Black person, any other Hispanic person, any other Asian person in our campus. So that is one experience that I remember very vividly, and the impact that it has had on my life. This experience taught me that love without action doesn't go anywhere. And the action that we took was having that dialogue and speaking up. And the justice part of this experience came when our director was able to give us an open space to heal and talk about it, and the other party was able to understand what we're going through and our trauma, and they were able to grow and understand and learn more about racial bias and injustice.
Racism, I've encountered racism in a number of places, but the most prominent racism that I face is at the job site, because We know we are all coming from different areas, and we came here. The order of the day is money. We came here to look for money. We came for a better life. We came to build our families, and racism is coming in to downgrade us, to put us in a situation whereby we are not going to reap what we merit. So I find myself at my job site where I was working in the unit I was working. So there was supposed to be a program that is going to run in that same department, and within that department, I think and I know vividly that in qualification and merit, I was the top. And even my bosses, they always congratulate me, they tell me, and they always try to tell me, we hope you're going to go in this career, you're doing this, you're doing that. But to my greatest dismay and surprise, there was a program that was supposed to run, and it was a program that I was supposed to benefit bountifully. But within the period that the program was supposed to take place, I was assigned in another department, that I'm going to run in that department for a period of time before coming back to my department. Just the moment that I was shifted from my department, the program was implemented, and people were assigned to run that program where people who are not qualified for the program. And I came to discover that the person that was the head in that program took only people that are coming from his race, from where he's coming from. They speak the same language. That means they were looking for a way to take me out, so they will bring people that are coming from a particular race. And with that being done, I understood that was racism that was being done unto me. But me seeing that it's, as a child of God, that should not get to me. I am here to work. I'm here to do things. Okay, I decided to keep that spirit of God, to keep that oneness. And on the part of love, they have to start using me, bringing me from a different department to assist people in a department I've been taken out, to help them, train them to do things in that department. But I didn't create any situation, nor did I try to make it look as if I feel a type. I pull on, I move along, and I was coming there from time to time, assisting them, training them, putting all the energy that I can do, and the program was a success. But I was not being remunerated for that. My name was not called as if I did anything in the program. Other people were showcased in that program. But I took it as something that it's not a problem. But standing out there, I tried to point out a number of factors to make sure they understood what had happened. And it sank right down there, because I was called and apologized upon that it was just a situation that happened unknowingly, and I was not supposed to be taken from a different department because the assignment there was also very important. But they've forgotten the fact that people who run that program will be paid an extra stipend and benefit that I didn't enjoy, but I was helping and training them for the program. I could understand the whole situation and the whole drama that happened, but it didn't change my spirit of working, the love I have for my job and the people that were around me.
The church is supposed to be the backbone of justice, shaping its every facet in the society. The church has been limited on that, or have fallen back on these aspects, because we are much more looking at what the world is teaching us, how we want, what the world wants us to do. We are no more in the forefront. And we understand that the world is waiting to see the manifestations of the children of God, but the children of God are not manifesting. So as a Christian, from where based on my spiritual background, I believe that the church is not doing a lot, because we receive what the teachings are, but we not apply it in our various areas of society. And because of that, when we are faced with a challenge, we respond in the same way. which are aspects we are supposed to move away from, to teach others what the church is, love, and what our tenets are on day-to-day basis. Meaning, if somebody were to bring you hatred, treat them with love. If somebody were to make you feel bad at work, you don't respond in the same way, but you turn to show them that even though what you have done, I can still help you. And that throws them off, because they are like, I thought that you were going to be mad at me. I thought that you were going to treat me badly, but yet you still came back to me with love. And I think if you were to speak about Christian principles to them, they will listen to you, because they have seen a different approach based on how you treated them back. And at this point, I just want to thank Healing Illinois for giving us this opportunity to speak to racial biases in our current country, and hope with this video there can be a change in the society going forward.
I think the church needs to speak up and advocate against racial discrimination, racial bias. I think the church needs to be the main one in the forefront, educating the mass about the principles in which Jesus taught, which was love and action. I think the church is also limited to putting on activities and events that promote racial healing due to the fundings and due to a lot of boundaries and limitation. I think a lot of church post-COVID is experiencing a lot of financial backburn. That's why I like to take this opportunity to thank Healing Illinois for sponsoring churches within the Illinois community to talk about this topic. It gives us a platform to be in the forefront of educating the world that churches also are dealing with racial discrimination. Churches also are dealing with racial bias. I think the church needs to be the number one person that a person can run to when they're hurt, when they have been broken. A church is like a garage, right? So every car comes in, no matter if you're a Mercedes, a Toyota, a Mitsubishi, no matter how your parts are broken, a church is supposed to heal you. And that's our mission, as Jesus came to heal the world and restore us back to himself. So I think the church is supposed to be the number one instrument in racial healing. So that is our sole responsibility and our sole job in this movement of racial healing.
The church needs to step out there, speak up so high, make people to understand that we are one people. We need to live together. We need to exhibit the spirit of oneness, love. Above all, love. Because if we show love to one another, irrespective of where we are coming from, racism will be eradicated in the society.
We've all listened to what was discussed, and throughout our discussion, we've examined the roots of racism, its impact on our lives, and the importance of acknowledging our shared humanity. We have learned that combating racism requires more than just awareness. It necessitates action, empathy, and a commitment to change. Each of us has a role to play in challenging prejudice and dismantling systematic inequalities. As we conclude today, let us carry forward the lessons learned. Let us engage in open dialogue, educate ourselves and others, and stand up against injustice whenever we encounter it. Together we can build a more inclusive society where diversity is celebrated and every individual is valued for who they are. Let us strive not just for tolerance, but for understanding and respect. The journey towards equality is ongoing, and it requires the collective effort of all. Thank you for your commitment to this cause, and let us work together to create a brighter future free from racism.